Good day. Welcome to another video with me, Paul, Addict Mentor. I am someone who spent 27 years in active addiction. I spent 22 years in various prisons around the English Isle. And in May the 13th, 2019, my life changed in ways that I can't put into words sometimes, but my life changed and I got clean and sober and started living my best life. And it took a very long time. And during my active addiction stage, I was manipulative and I pulled the wool over lots of people's eyes. I was convincing them that the signs that they saw weren't true. I help people daily when they message me. You can get hold of me via pauladdictmental.com. But lots of people message me, and I got a message from a lady yesterday, and she said to me, how do I identify someone in active addiction, someone who has an addiction? And I had to really stop and think about it because it's not easy to identify the traits of an addict because not every addict is the same. But it got me thinking. And then I wrote a little list down, and I'm going to share with you how I would identify someone who has an addiction problem. The first thing you need to understand is this: not every drug user is an addict. You may find like baggies or Rizzlers or whatever around your partners or family, friends, whatever, and they may be using, but that doesn't mean they are in active addiction. It just may mean that they are having a once off because an addiction, the addiction trait, it's a trait. It's some people can do drugs once in a blue moon and they're fine, but others try things once, they lock onto it, it's a way to deal with a situation, and they keep going. So that's the first thing you need to remember, that not every drug user is an addict. It's hard to get that into your head sometimes, but that's the way it is. Some people can use rarely from time to time, and some people can't, and it takes over their entire existence. Secondly, addicts become masters at hiding their illness. They really are, because I've convinced many, many people that my late weight loss was due to the stress of a situation. The reason I never had any money is because my benefits weren't right or I'd not been paid on time. Uh, the reason there's so many different things that I hid slyly to maintain my drug addiction. Because addicts, once they get into an addiction and they've started lying, it becomes all encompassing, and reality and normal thinking goes out the window. You have to be aware. Now, this is a big, big, big warning sign, right? Be aware of financial situations, money becoming an issue, bills not being paid on time. You're planning to take what you do normally, all of a sudden you can't do it because there's financial issues. That is a huge red flag when it comes to figuring out if someone's got an addiction or not. And remember, I'm not talking only about drugs and substances. I'm talking about gambling. I'm talking about food. Any fucking addiction comes with a financial consequence. I can't think of one that doesn't, because whatever it is, you will try to get it, buy it, however, whatever the means is. Be aware of the person using any situation to get time alone. I was a master at this, an absolute master. What I used to do is invent reasons to go to the shop. I would go to the shop. What I would sneakily do is go, try score, come back if I'm not scored in time, say, oh, I forgot, blah, 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 and go off again. And I could find myself an hour's worth of time. It's a real situation that you really need to be aware of. If you've got someone close to you who are going missing for long periods of time, don't always put that down to they're having an affair. It could be the simple fact of they are struggling with their addictions and they are finding time to go out and score, to go out and use, to go out and fornicate, to go out and eat, whatever it is. This is what addicts do, and they do it a lot. Health, weight loss, and eating habits decreasing. Oh my days. When I was in active addiction, especially when I was smoking crack, I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to eat at all. And the weight was falling off me at a rapid rate. Look at these cheeks now. Look, I look like a chipmunk. But when I was in active addiction, my face was sunk. You know what I mean? My eyes, I had dark rings all under my eyes. It was an absolute nightmare. But loved ones, because you are there around you constantly, they don't see the drop as obvious as someone you don't see for a while. So you could be busting with your missus has got no idea, and you see someone, they're like, holy shit, mate, where's all the weight gone? That is a big sign of someone who is using. If they're going off their meals, you know, you're usually going out for big meals in restaurants, having a pub lunch, whatever it is. When that stops, along with these other factors, you really need to start asking questions about whether this person is in some sort of substance abuse addiction. The next one, lies. Addicts lie, and they don't lie to hurt you, they lie to maintain their drug addiction. They mount up and they'll create arguments so they can go off and find time for themselves. If you're in a relationship and usually you're like, man, I'm good, getting stressed because you know you and your partner are in sync, and then you're starting to create arguments, bad tension in the house, any excuse, then your missus go, why don't you just go out? Jackpot, because that's what you want. You want them to go, yeah, just go out, and you'll create tension in the household so you've got that time for yourself. So, you partners out there, you need to be aware. You can't be letting these situations grow and grow. You're noticing the financial problems, you're noticing the weight loss, you're noticing the decrease in eating, you're noticing all these things, you know, and then it comes to this closing down of communication. If you're in a situation where all the time you were chatting to your partners, your friends, your family members, and all of a sudden they become reclusive, isolated, insular. There is a problem there because something else has taken over their thinking and their thought processes. I've done this so many times. I'm sorry I'm slowing here, but I've done this so many times, and I harmed myself because I wasn't talking to people. I felt completely crap because I wasn't being open and honest. I love my partner, and when I was in active addiction and I wasn't able to share with her, well, I thought I wasn't able to share with her, because I later found out that if I would have opened my mouth and just told her what the problem was, she would have been there by my side like she still is today. But as an addict in active addiction, we tend to just kick off and we tend to shut down and we tend to say, no one can help me. And then it comes to the final one, when people become emotionally cold. When you're telling them you love them and there's no reaction, you tell them you're upset and there's no reaction, they become closed off, because that's what the drugs do. You know, the serotonin levels, the endorphins are covered with opiates, with cocaine, with alcohol, whatever it is. And all your body wants is to feed that habit, feed that addiction. If you find that you are identifying with a lot of these things, you will find that you are living with an addict. Now, I wish you all the best of luck because it is not an easy road. It is difficult. You've got hard times ahead. But as someone who went through 27 years of it and come out the other side, I know they can get clean, they can get sober, and they can start living their best lives. Please go to pauladdictmental.com if you need my help. Drop me an email at pauldrugmental2022@gmail.com, and I promise you, I respond to all emails, all requests, all messages. Please check me out. I hope this has helped you just a little bit to identify the traits of active addiction, because if we identify and we realize what the situation is, we are able to then create change. And that's what it's all about, saving lives.